Hello everybody, this is Celebrities Event host Chjazze Lewis. I'm here with the lovely Jvet. She has so many titles, trying to run through all of them. I would actually exalt myself out before the interview, so exert myself, excuse me, out before the interview. So we're just going to let her pretty much tell you about herself briefly, and then we're going to get into some more detailed parts about her life and everything, because she has a phenomenal story, very tremendous accomplishments, and a lot of things that she has endured, a lot of trauma and a lot of things that she's endured. And as you can see, she's so gorgeous. So that's what they say, you really can't judge a book by its cover
until you read it.
Until you read the pages. Yes. So we're going to let Jvet pretty much take over and pretty much tell the people about yourself.
Wow. Well, first of all, I'm Robin Justice Mobley, but I'm known as Jvet. I'm 45, and I intentionally say how old I am. Basically, probably because of the campaign that I have going on, Age No Factor, so I'm not ashamed to say what my age is. And I'm a mother of 4 adult children and 4 beautiful grandchildren. And
four. Yeah, I heard that. 4 children.
Yeah.
And 4 grandchildren. 45. Look at this. Are y'all serious? Look at this woman. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Continue.
And let's see, so I'm a model, radio, television personality. I MC, host, motivational speaking, manage a hip-hop artist, and CEO of RJM Management, CEO of Fan First Entertainment, and have one of the biggest campaigns that I think is going to be released in 2014, which is Age No Factor, something that I'm working on outside of other little projects and different things that I'm doing. But that's kind of like who I am, and I'm basically a woman who, I guess I can say at this point in time in my life, redefining herself.
Yes.
And branding who I am and who Jvet is.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of things in life, but where I am right now, I would have to say that I'm kind of redefining myself.
Understand that, and I believe another reason that happens a lot of times, people say, oh, well, why do you wait till you get this age or that age to do things? Because sometimes it's not that you don't want to, it's just that it's not the right timing, because there's other things that you must tend to.
There was a lot of things that I attended to when, and I'll just go back to, we'll probably talk about my life a little bit, but I became a mother, a teenage mother, and a teenage wife. So at that point, I felt it wasn't the responsibility of my children. It was mine, because I had them.
Right.
So I sacrificed so much. My goals and dreams of being a model and all those things really did get put aside, because I had 4 children.
Right.
And then those 4 children had things that they were doing, whether it was basketball, football, cheerleading, pageants, then being the teen mom, being on the school board, just all those things that comes with being a mother, a good mother, you know. And so I did that. And so I'm not going to say that I waited too late, because God is still opening doors for me.
Right.
But I will say that I took a pause.
Yes.
You know, because I had to raise my children.
Exactly.
So now that my children are all grown, I am now trying to pursue my goals and my dreams.
That's awesome, but I don't think that you're trying. I believe that you are.
You're actually, well, that's what they say. I don't know.
It takes time, especially I notice, because you know, being in the entertainment industry is very, you know, it's very iffy, because you may have this group and they're like yeah, but then you have this group. What the hell is she doing? And unfortunately, the group that be the main ones that seem to be in the spotlight, or be the ones who, you know, can say, you know, green light, red light, or you know, okay, we're just going to keep you right here for right now, and then we're going to see.
I think when that happens, I think a lot of people are afraid to let you in.
Yeah, they are.
At the end of the day, they're afraid to let you in. But my thing is I have to always keep in mind that God is the controller of my life, and He's the head of my life. So no one can let me in, keep me out, say yes or no. Only God can say where I'm going to be, what's okay for me, what's not okay for me, and I try my best to really listen to him. So when you have those people and you have those groups and you have those cliques, only thing you can do is just look at them, and it is what it is. However you feel or however you think that you're stopping somebody, you're not. At the end of the day, he has the final say as far as when it comes to me. So I don't even get into any of that kind of stuff. I don't get into cliques. I don't get into groups. I don't get into any of that. I try to get along with everybody as much as possible, and just keep pushing.
That's a good thing, and I believe you have to stay neutral in any industry that you get into, especially when you're becoming now like a public figure, or you becoming a public mentor. You're out in the public sector altogether. Whether you're a customer service rep, whether you're a cashier at the grocery store, it doesn't matter. If you're dealing with people on a regular basis and in the public sector, you're going to be doing TV, film, radio. You really have to be careful how you portray yourself. So it is good that you don't get into the cliques, because I think that's so high schoolish. You know, it's really.
And when you say portray yourself, my only thing is I can only be me at the end of the day. So I can't present nobody else but me. Even if you try to say I'm this way, that way, I'm going to let you know how I really am. So.
Oh yeah, we know that. That remind me of a clip. Okay, she was
you're going to bring that up.
Yes, I'm bringing it up because she opened that door up.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, she was in Tracy Sip reality show. What was it?
Tracy Sip reality show, Make Me a Cover Model.
Make Me a Cover Model. Okay, I saw one episode where this guy, I understand, he's in the industry, it's his expertise, but he slipped up when he decided to tell her what she was not good enough for or not going to do. Oh my goodness. You see this beautiful smile and all this? I mean, when I say she went in on him and put him in check. She had to let him know, look, all I've been through, you're not going to tell me what I'm not going to do, what I'm not. But something you have to, that
really was, and it was, I would have to say that, I think that's probably when I think enough was enough. Television is television, but if it's reality and it's real, if I wouldn't allow that to happen in real life with someone telling me who I am, then just because cameras are in front of me does not mean I'm not going to say it. And so this was a celebrity judge, and you're right, he tried to tell me like who I was and what I was going to be or whatever, and you're right, I did say I've been through too much in my life, and I feel like that I have been. For anybody to tell me when I know that I walked, in these shoes, and I was in the hospital dying and all those things, I know what I've been through, not you. And then so I know who delivered me, who healed me, who's been guiding me, not you. So therefore, I'm not gonna let you be on national television and tell somebody about me. You don't even know me. Matter of fact, I don't even know who you are, celebrity or whatever. So it was real. That was a very touching thing on the show.
Yeah, he ruffled the feathers and everything, and I think when people are judging, you really have to kind of, in my opinion, really understand what that person's idea is, what their dream is, what their goal is, what their ambitions really are, not just based on you seeing them that one time and things like that. Now, if you're in the music industry, that's a different story, because you either got it or you don't, but when it comes to acting, coming to pursuing certain goals and dreams, especially in the entertainment industry, you really don't want to just flat out tell a person, oh, you're not going to be good enough for this, or you're not going to make it for that, because things change. They said it would never be, voluptuous women on mainstream TV, but they're coming, they're coming, and you're seeing a lot of them, they're starting to get main roles in sitcoms and things like that, and even in movies. So you can never say what will or what will not be of a person. Don't try to speak damnation on a person and things like that. So I'm with you on that, and I completely understood. And that I felt like me was there. I felt sorry for me. I dropped my hands like this. I was like, oh Lord. I was like, oh Lord. I'm like, ooh. I said, so make it completely.
But you have to say that I did it in a very classy way.
No, she did. She didn't
No, I did not.
She didn't go reality show ghetto.
Right, I didn't.
She didn't do it that way, but she was assertive and firm. Yeah, you were that. Hi everybody, this is Celebrities Event host Chjazze Lewis back with the lovely Jvet. And then right before the break, we were talking about how she had to put somebody in check. And this is a celebrity. I think he's a celebrity stylist, right?
I believe he was a celebrity stylist. He's been on
Yeah, but she had to, pretty much put him in place. And we were saying that she did do it classy. She stated she did do it classy and everything. She just had to be assertive. But that's some things that you have to deal with when you get into the entertainment industry. You have a lot of people that would tell you what you cannot do and what you're not good enough to do and things like that. But a lot, even you think about American Idol, all of the ones they were like, oh, American didn't vote for you, or you didn't have this, you don't have a tape. They end up going independently and blowing up, And I think one of the ones that has had the most success is Jennifer Hudson and Fantasia. Those two has so far has had the most major success that we know in the urban community, that is. So you can't let people dictate that to you. But we're going to continue on. I want to find out about Miss Robin. And find out where she's from, find out her as a little girl, and find out what are the things that she found herself being attracted to as a little girl, like as far as hobbies, things that you like doing.
Well, I was born in Dayton, Ohio.
Okay.
And raised in Denver, Colorado.
Oh.
And then I lost my sister when she was 17 years old. So at the age of 15 going on 16, we moved back to Dayton. Some of the things that I really liked in hobbies when I was growing up, I love basketball. So I played basketball as a shoot guard.
Okay, cool.
And volleyball, I ran track. Wasn't into the cheerleading or anything like that, but I did model.
Okay.
And I love to write poetry.
Oh,
so
okay.
I was in poetry. I did a lot of poetry, and I was in drama. And those are some of the things that I did when I was growing up.
Awesome. I cannot play no type of basketball in no form or fashion.
Man, I love basketball. I was playing basketball all the way up until I got in a major car accident. So
Okay, gotcha.
I used to play basketball with the kids and stuff at home. And but I really love playing basketball.
Aww.
Yeah, I used to play with my cousins, my guy cousins and everything. And they used to come and get me, and we used to go to Princeton Park. So those of you that are from Dayton, Ohio, you know about Princeton Park. I used to be up there a lot.
Oh, okay.
Playing basketball.
That's awesome. Okay, WNBA.
Right.
Even just a spokesmodel, or you need someone to come do a celebrity hosting. Here you are, Miss Jvet. Okay, all right. So you want to look her up. Yeah, we're gonna tell her. So as a teenager, I understand you had a sister that you lost, and I apologize, for that. My deepest condolences.
I would have to say, in regards to my teenage years, was a very trying time for me. Like I said, we moved from Denver, Colorado, back to Dayton. And at that point, I felt like I lost my mother. I have to say, growing up, I just had a conversation with my sister about this, that I don't ever remember, and I think I was talking to you about this, being a child. Not my mom's fault. My parents got divorced. My mother moved, and she was a single mother. So it put me in a role. I had an older sister that had special needs, and then I had my younger sister. So I was taking care of both of them, cooking in the 3rd grade, just doing all these things. So I don't ever remember. I don't even know what it was. I went out and maybe played a little bit, but I always, even when I did that, was on this mom role as a kid, helping my sisters and taking care of them and all those kind of things. And so I don't know, but as a teenager, when we lost my sister, we had to move back to Dayton. And I lost my mom at the same time because my mother went into a deep depression from losing my sister.
Yeah.
So here I am, 15 years old, planning my sister's funeral.
Wow.
I'm a kid, but I'm planning her funeral, trying to figure out how to raise money to fly her back to Dayton, and making decisions because my mother just about lost it, and so then we moved back and moved in with my grandmother, and Lord, I love my grandmother. She's like my second mom. And my mother just stayed upstairs, and I was on my own, just me and my sister, back and forth to school, and dealing with the whole thing of losing your sister. And so my teenage years was really trying, even though I still played sports and I did things, and my grandmother still made sure that with my modeling and you know, she tried to keep me involved, but that was a very hard time. And then eventually my senior year, you know, I became pregnant and I got married, you know, my senior year. And so my rest of my teen years, my 20s and 30s, I was a mom,
Wow.
you know, at that point. So I don't know, it just.
Wow, that's a lot to take in and a lot to
Yeah.
deal with, especially at that age. And I'm glad that you know, would share your story with us, because it is really one of those things that a lot of people sweep under the rug. And just like even some of the things that me shared with you, from my childhood and experiences, and I don't know what it is about certain communities. It's like when you grow up in certain communities, they will not address those kind of issues for some reason, or they sweep it under the rug, or they try to make justifications for it, cover it up. And you know, so then you feel like you don't even have a safety net, so you really just have to try to do the best that you can in your situation, at the maturity level that you're at the spiritual level that you're at as well. And people don't understand that a person can know, and I said this many times, a person can know right from wrong. But if they're not, if they're at a certain place spiritually and mentally, it doesn't matter if they know right from wrong. They're not going to do right. If their mindset or if their spirit is not at that level, because it could be things that have happened, and it's a blessing that it did not overtake you.
Yeah, I would have to say a couple of reasons why I think that I still ended up being okay. One is my family really believes in the Lord, you know, very going to church. My grandmother was always praying for us. And I remember sitting on the porch over there on Grand Avenue, and all my cousins and we all would just sit on the porch and talk. So the family still, you know, we had that closeness where we all talked. But I would have to say that that relationship with the Lord played a big part in my life. I got saved when I was 16 years old. So it played a big part in the rest of my life, and it still does play a big part. And when you spoke of the community, people don't realize sometimes the things that teenagers go through.
Right.
And they feel like you're acting out. See, when I would leave home when I was a teenager, it wasn't because I was just running away just out there. Wow, there were so many things going on, like with my sister and my stepdad, and just the whole responsibility. Like I said, I just felt like just always having to do stuff and not being a kid.
A lot on you.
But I think that everything that I've been, not I think, I know that everything that I've been through was only just a testimony. It was a test for me to be able to tell other women and other people about what I went through. So I look at now, everything that I've been through, I can literally go, being that I do motivational speaking now, and talk about all kind of things, from teenage pregnancy, teenage runaway, teenage mother, teenage wife, domestic violence, losing weight, eating healthy, just all different kind of things, from getting back into the game. Like, I ain't talking about just about anything. I've been through just about almost anything. So I don't complain, and I'm not complaining about my life. You know, I thank God for it, because it made me the woman who I am today. So,
you know, wow, that's, you know, that's
but the community does need to pay attention to our young people, because sometimes it's their actions that are really telling what's going on with them, because sometimes they don't talk about it, or they can't say it. So it's paying attention, and the problem is that we don't talk to them. You know, nobody really ever talked to me and asked me how I felt about losing my sister. You know, it was like, you know, are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. But, you know, no, I'm really devastated. I'm hurt. I'm hurt because I wasn't there for her. I'm hurt because they found her dead on the floor, and I was the last one she talked to. She called me to say happy birthday, and now I can't talk to my sister. You know, so all these things. So I never went for counseling to talk to anyone or anything, but I was literally going through about that, and then losing your mom at the same time because she was being depressed. It was like all those things. So I never really talked to nobody, you know, about it. And that's why I said, because, you know, a lot of people end up committing suicide, going crazy, half of the stuff that I've been through. So I look at it, and I know it was only just because of testimony for me to talk to other people.
Wow. That's whew. I'm, you know, just speechless, because I can completely relate. I mean, like, completely relate. Not with the loss of a sibling. This is Celebrity Events host Chjazze Lewis. back again. Thank you guys for being patient. And we're back with the lovely Jvet. And right before we went on break, she was talking about how it's important for communities to get involved with, to pay attention, more attention to teens and to talk to them. And I don't know if you all caught the end of the part that she was stating about, listening to the teens and being there for them, because nobody had asked her how she felt.
Yeah.
When she lost her sister, people just asked if you was all right and things like that. So it's very important to talk and engage in conversation with children and teenagers. You'd be surprised at things that they have to say and the things that they're dealing with. And you don't know these things because you're not taking out the time to try to find out about them. So, that's when a lot of other things come into play, that they lean to. Is a good thing she was strong, very much strong-willed.
Oh, definitely.
More strong-willed than
a
lot of people,
right.
and stuff like that. So, you were saying that, as a teenager, how you was raising, pretty much taking care of everything. You had to plan your check.
Yeah, it was the, and I can't blame it on my mother.
Right.
At that point, she did what she had to do as far as the working and everything. And then even with losing my sister, I've never lost a child, so I can't say how she felt.
Right.
But clearly it devastated her, and she went into a deep depression. And so at that point, it was basically raising myself. Thank God for my grandmother, because she played a big part in keeping me together as well, and helping and supporting me and supporting my events, and from the games, I'll never forget, she used to iron my uniforms and made sure when I came home there was dinner, for me and everything. So my grandmother played a big part in between that time of being like between 15 and 17. I remember her playing a very, major part, because, I was really going through a lot.
Wow. And one thing that you were stating is that you had became a mother, a wife, and a mother.
I did.
At your
my senior year, going into my senior year, I got pregnant with my oldest son, and then I got married. So at that point, things changed for me because I became a mom and a wife. So I always had wanted to go back to school. I didn't finish high school, and I always wanted to go back to school. And I'll never forget, as I was raising them, I love to read. And so I was constantly always reading and everything, but I could never get back to going to school, because after I had my first son, then another one came, then another one came, and then my daughter came. So, and all my children were like back to back. But eventually, I knew that I was going to go back, to at least get my GED or something. Because I wanted to let my children know that no matter what I went through, that I didn't stop it from letting me eventually get my education and everything. So I ended up going and getting my GED. And then I also ended up going to college. Awesome. So at some point, it was like, okay, in between raising them and then still wanting to do some things that I wanted to do, I did get out to do those things.
Okay, well, how was, that's a lot to deal with. How was marriage like for you as a teenager? I can only imagine the challenges. You already have the children, and now you have the husband, and you're... you had to put you to the back burner, and it was just like you was pretty much non-existent.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was getting into, actually. I would have to say that I just knew that I loved him, and that I wanted what was best for my children. I was always raised around that it was good to have, the husband and the wife in the home, and raise the and so I was like, I was all in for it, but I didn't realize that I was going to lose myself somewhere in there, and so much sacrifice comes with being a teenage mother and a teenage wife. Because just face it, those that are teenagers now, all these things that you want to do, whatever, all that stops. No going out, no doing anything. And if I wanted to still play sports, I couldn't. If I wanted to model, I couldn't, because I had babies, I had children to raise. And so, I really ended up getting it. Now, I don't regret, I'm not going to say that, I regret it, but it is something to think about, rushing into getting into marriage and having babies at a young age. I do not recommend that to anybody. Do your goals, dreams, and visions and all that first, then get married. and have children and all that, you know.
Yes.
But I'm not going to complain about what happened. I'm not going to murmur about it. I love my children, and I did what I thought was best as a mother. And, you know, I think I raised some pretty decent young men. I have 3 sons and a daughter. But it was kind of hard for me because I didn't have the normal married life.
Gotcha.
I had things going on, you know, in a marriage that people didn't know about, which was abuse. And so it made it very, even more difficult for me being married and not really talking about it or having someone to talk about some of the things that I was going through. You know, my ex-husband, who's my ex-husband now, you know, he made sure that I had things that I needed. I never really wanted for anything, but then it was those other things that I was going through that people, you know, didn't know about. So on top of that, and raising the children, and getting everybody back and forth to practice, to games, all mom, parent, teacher meetings, team mom, school board member, just everything. I was on point with all those things, but never had no one to talk to about what I was going through as far as the physical abuse, verbal, mental abuse that I was going through. And that's why I said that I know that I cannot talk and interview about anything without talking about the Lord.
Gotcha.
Because I probably could have lost my mind in the midst of all of it, and I did not. And I know that He was there with me, you know, through it all.
That, you know, a lot of women, I believe, go through, you know, we have, I think women are more about having a certain standard when it comes to marriage. Like, okay, this is what I want my standard to be. This is how I want things. And, you know, we get into the fantasy and we,
that's perfect.
Yeah, and then when you get into it, they don't realize the cost. Because I know of women, they got a lot of things materialistically wise. They had a nice home, they drove a nice car, had all of those things, the substance, the natural and vanity substance, but people didn't realize the cost that they were paying. And so, you know, you have some women, they say, oh, I envy her, I wish you don't say that, because you don't really know what's going on behind closed doors. For example, this pastor that this was a long time ago. This man was a pastor of ministry, and my mother had told this lady, don't marry him. He's not good for you. You're gonna regret it. She married him anyway, and the man ended up killing her.
Wow.
He's still in prison now. He got life, but he ended up killing this lady.
Wow.
And you know, but on the exterior, everything looked picture perfect. Oh, they laughing, they're smiling, they're hugging, they're kissing, they're, you know, being very affectionate. They got all of the, you know, they're doing all of the right things out in the public sector, but behind closed doors, he was beating her, cursing her out, peeing on her, urinating on her.
Wow. And see, and that's the reason why I speak out on it now. Like, no disrespect to, like, my ex-husband, because I forgave him for that. I moved on and forgave him for that. So I'm not trying to hurt him in any type of way, shape, or form. But there are women out there that are losing their lives. Women out there that are getting beat and kicked and stabbed, and even being married but being raped in certain ways and certain things. So how can I not talk to someone and encourage them, or at least let them know these are the signs, especially when you're talking about the youth, young people. The abuse is going on in high school.
It sure is.
So the young ladies need to know that if he's treating you a certain way in high school, and if he's pushing you and hitting you in high school, what do you think is going to happen when you get married? But nobody is actually speaking out on it and saying, you know, like you have the celebrities and stuff, and I'm not talking about Rihanna or whatever, but to go back to that after it was all out there, what he did to you, all those young ladies that followed her now say, it is okay for that man to beat me, and it's okay for me to go back to him.